Whenever you make a positive claim, you have what's called the burden of proof. You have to prove whatever your positive claim was. Globe Earth is a positive claim. Not only is it a positive claim, but it's a positive claim of specificity. The claims axial rotation of 1,040 miles per hour east of the equator, also a circumference of 24,901 miles at the equator, and a radius of 3,959 miles. Necessitation of a radius of 3,959 is a certain rate of curvature of roughly 7.98 inches per mile squared. Okay, so if you take the observer height times 1.225 times the square root of the observer height, then you can get the geometric horizon's maximum distance. We've gone out and we've tested that claim of a radius and consistently falsified it, thus resulting in the falsification of a radius, which is necessitated by the globe Earth they give you. It isn't negotiable. It has to be exactly 3,959 miles. So we go out and test it. We falsified it, thus disproving the entire model. It implodes because the day-night cycle requires it, the current connotation of gravity and orbital trajectories requires it, how long a mile is requires it, etc., etc. So we've effectively falsified the claim of the radius, thus falsified the entire model empirically, verifiably. We do not believe the Earth is flat. We have proven that it is. There's no curvature anywhere, thus if it's not curved, what is it? It's flat. Also, there's a huge issue with the model, in addition to the fact that the radius has been falsified, which doesn't actually require us to go any further than that. But it claims that a pressurized system is adjacent to a near-perfect vacuum of 10 to the negative 17, and of course applying the understanding of the second law of thermodynamics. Low-pressure system will immediately seek equilibrium and migrate to a high-pressure system. This is the natural law of entropy, thus the necessary antecedent to gas pressure is a physical container, yet they claim to be the one anomaly to this natural law, being this magical spinning ball that's in an ever-expanding universe of a near-perfect vacuum with a pressurized system on Earth. Not only have we falsified the physicality of the sphericity claim, but we've also pointed out that very simply, it claims to be in defiance of a natural law of the second law of thermodynamics.
Okay, can I ask you some questions about some things that would make me conclude that the Earth is spherical, that maybe you can shed some light on?
Sure, man.
Okay, so like my first question would be when a ship goes over the horizon, right? Like they've noticed this since ancient times. Oftentimes, like the front of the ship over the horizon before the back of the ship. So like it all doesn't just like suddenly disappear. It almost seems like it's going over a curve, disappearing from view as it travels further and further away. So why is it like when you look straight, like things disappear seemingly, I guess, in a flow, you know, as if it's going over the edge? Why is it that you can still see like the back of the ship, but then you see the front of the ship disappear, then you see the whole thing disappear? Like if the whole Earth was,
I got it.
you see like hundreds of miles out.
Okay. We've all heard this, right? So, no, it doesn't do that every time. In addition, that's how angular resolution works. You reach a limit of perspective. I'm sure someone can link all kinds of different observations we can do to replicate it. You can use a point on a table, etc., etc. So very simply, you reach a limit of perspective due to atmospheric conditions, observer height, and angular resolution. Once you see that the ship disappeared or it appears to disappear over the horizon, you can take a telescope out, zoom in, and it comes back into view, thus definitively showing it only appeared to disappear due to the limit of perspective. And that's what us as flat earthers know, that the horizons where the sky appears to meet the ground. It's an apparent location relative to observer height and atmospheric conditions.
So okay, so you're saying like two things. Or is it one that like my eyes aren't powerful enough to like have that much resolution power, like the ability to see that far out? And is the other one, are you saying like the atmosphere somehow like hides or obscures things from vision as you go further?
Those are both true, yeah. So based on different atmospheric conditions, you can see further or closer based on what those conditions are. And yes, your resolution has a limit. So if we can only see so far with the naked eye, but then I pull out a P900 and zoom in, that same ship that disappeared will come back into view. But of course, eventually it also reaches its limit of perspective. Your limit of perspective, where you will eventually no longer see any further, is based on your angular resolution, the observer height, and atmospheric conditions.
My other question then would be, why is it that the people are promoting this spherical, Earth model if it's really flat? Is it like a satanic plot to drive us away from religion and God and kind of discredit it, or
you're asking us a speculative? Yeah, exactly. You're asking us a speculative question as to what is the motive. What we do as intellectually responsible adults is we go test the empirical avenue of said postulation. So we go out and we try to empirically verify the claim. We falsified it. So we establish empirically, objectively, that they lied. That's independent of the motive. But you cannot be like, oh, until I can adequately understand the motive, I can't accept or entertain the empirical aspect of the falsification of the model. That's independent. But yeah, there are all kinds of speculations that we go into on this channel, but that's actually independent of the objectivity of us falsifying the model. But maybe they do hide God. I don't know. No, it's a
Okay.
misnomer that a bunch of crazy Bible thumpers just think the earth is flat. That's not the case at all. In fact, anyone that thinks about the Bible now as a flat earther typically didn't start even thinking about it until they realized it was accurate about the earth. We'll just go test the earth, empirical scientific measures, not literal measures because that's not science, that's a measurement. Scientific experiments and empirical measurements that are observable and replicatable. We test the earth, establish that it is indeed flat, and then we go from there. So they get $54 million a day, so that's a ton of money that they could lie for. Then maybe there's more land, more resources. Simply, knowledge is power, and it's much more powerful if you're the only one with it. So if there's a concerted effort to lie to you or to control you, the better question is, why would they tell you the truth? We falsify the model. There you go. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, and every horizon distant measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's how you get the geometric horizon. This is, of course, your model's math, not ours. You can test it if you would like. Just Google what the rate of curvature is. So yeah, you can Google using Earth proponent calculations. It'll tell you what the geometric horizon should be. We went out and tested it. And it's not just one time, it's over and over and over. We have observations of over 273 miles. We have laser tests over 25 miles, over 30 miles. We have some observations over 1,000 miles using infrared technologies. Consistently disproved it. Of course, you also have the issue of our model claims a pressurized system being adjacent to a near perfect vacuum, and according to the second law of thermodynamics, which is a natural law that's replicated and consistently observable, entropy, energy transfer, high pressure system will always immediately seek equilibrium and migrate to a low pressure system. So the necessary antecedent to gas pressure is a physical container. And of course, your religion claims there is no physical container, but we magically have gas pressure here. So not only does your model get falsified because of the necessitation of a physical horizon that's completely non-existent, it also claims to be defiant of a natural law, the second law of thermodynamics.
So do you concede there's no physical evidence of curvature?
I have not conceded that. There is plenty of physical evidence of curvature. You just dismiss it out of hand.
You haven't presented it. I've addressed everything with specificity.
You're welcome to that opinion.
This is being recorded and live streamed.
Yes, it is being recorded and live streamed. And
okay.
Again, you're welcome to your opinion. You're welcome to your opinion about what's been presented and what hasn't been. But this is not a conversation about. I mean, I know you want to have a conversation about quote evidence, but nothing I present will be accepted at all.
You're self-projecting again.
No. Nothing I have presented will be accepted. The fact of the matter is, you come with no evidence.
Okay, I have a question for you. Would you agree that truth is independent of your opinions?
Absolutely, yes.
So when you say
truth
that's your
objective.
opinion, that's just a non sequitur to the discussion. We're talking about empirical verifiability, that you claim that you live on a magic spinning cartoon ball. That's what we're talking about.
That's correct, and it is empirically verified.
You keep saying that, but I'm just...
And the fact that you keep saying it isn't, well, here we are. We're going to go in a circle.
Provide the proof. Just provide the proof.
It's been provided. You've been looking for it for 5 years. If you've actually been looking for it, you would have found it.
No, actually, that's why I know the Earth is flat. We falsified the claim of a radius because we see too far. There's a necessitation of a physical geometric horizon.
Too far.
You have to keep cutting me off because you don't want me to dismantle your religion. Okay, now
we do not see too far, but please continue.
There's a necessitation of a physical geometric horizon based on the radius. We went out and tested it and have consistently falsified it. With the falsification of the radius, the entire model implodes. The current connotation of gravity, orbital trajectory, day and night cycle, distances like a mile, all require that number of 3959 to be exactly accurate. With the falsification of that comes the falsification of the entire model. Then we claim a general descriptor because there's no observable curvature, consistent physical evidence for such anywhere. So no curvature, flat. Very simple general descriptor of the Earth's surface. You claim a very specific model, and you have the burden of proof. And now you're shifting the burden of proof to a strawman model. This is all Globers do. Like for 5 years, I've been looking for the physical evidence of a curvature. That's
haven't
why
looked
I'm
hard
a flat
enough.
earther. What?
You haven't looked hard enough.
But yet you still haven't been able to provide it in 40 minutes.
Because providing it serves me no benefit in this conversation, and it serves no benefit to anyone listening. Okay, let's be blunt here. The people come for a shit show, and that's exactly what they've gotten.
Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna. Basically, you're honestly conceding you don't have physical evidence. Well, it's dishonest, but anyway. So we can move on. There is no physical evidence.
Yes, we're going. There is plenty of physical evidence,
but you just can't provide it.
I'm not going to provide it. I choose not to provide it.
Okay, well, that's your choice. I'll take that as a concession. So do you agree that